We are going to talk football a little
We are.
bit,
Yeah.
but we're going to do it briefly because I just want to say this. I love you both. You're both good friends of mine, but I'm done. I'm done. Can we, as a fan base, as dual fan bases of both the Giants and the Jets, can we finally just agree to put the last nail in the coffin and not talk about it again this year? Like, I ask this sincerely. I ask this with all due respect. It's time to it's time to move on, children. It's time to go. We're gonna let Brian go first. Brian, I'm gonna let you do the eulogy for this year's Jets right now, and then we're not going to talk about Aaron Rodgers anymore. We're not going to talk about you topping Zach Wilson anymore. We're going to talk about other stuff for at least a few months.
Oh, it was an ugly death. And I will not stop talking about topping Zach Wilson because if I speak about it enough, I may speak it into existence.
Yeah.
Manifest, right? That's called manifest.
You have to manifest. Yeah. You have to manifest it.
Put it in the world. Yeah.
It was an ugly death this Sunday. The O-line got plowed like a twink in a Senate hearing room. That was
topical jokes, kids.
Topical jokes.
I love it. That's great. That's great.
I know this is a sports podcast, but I wish I could talk about the twink in the Senate hearing room. That being said, that's my credit right now. That's my only credit. That was me. That was me.
I didn't hear that story. I gotta look that up.
Some Senate staffer got caught getting plowed like in the Senate chambers somewhere, like in a place where you're not supposed to be having gay sex or really any sex.
You're not supposed to be having any sex of any kind.
There's no sex in the Senate.
But you know what? He said if they can storm the Capitol, this guy can storm my rectum. That is exactly.
Yeah.
So speaking of getting their butt, so I would say the Jets got their buttholes, and the Giants got their buttholes stormed. They did.
They absolutely got their buttholes. I mean, it was the worst they played all season. I honestly think, and I only have seen a few games this season. Like I've been traveling a lot, so I've seen I'd say more than half of the games fully. Some games I missed, but I can honestly say this was probably the worst they played. Even worse than when they got killed by the Dolphins with Tim Boyle. I mean, and it's not even Zach Wilson's fault because they took him out and they put Simeon in, and the O-line was just horrible. And then the defense, as good as our defense has been, the Dolphins offense has just been on fire this year. So it was embarrassing, especially the first quarter. Zach Wilson just got pummeled
by Brian personally. Right. That's a different replay that's coming later. But you know what's funny is that the recap you just gave of the Jets game could also apply to the Giants game. It was the worst they looked all year. The O-line couldn't hold shit. The backup quarterback couldn't do shit because that's, where it is. And that's it. You can just put a damn fork in it. It really is. And this is why I started the show with saying that I beg of you fellas, if we're going to talk football, we can. But let's talk about other topics within football because it's just, look, I don't know why everybody this whole week was hyped about the fact that fucking Zach Wilson played one good game in his career, and why the fact that the Giants fans, were living in this fantasy world where a 5-8 team was somehow going to run the table, including beating the Eagles twice and make the playoffs. Those things, that was never going to happen. And look, everyone was all excited. Oh, Tommy DeVito, dude, he beat 3 of the shittiest teams in the fucking league. I'm so tired of that's why I'm glad they lost, because it's it. We're done. Put a fork in them. I don't want to talk about it anymore this year. No, I'm serious. I know, it sounds like I'm ranting, as I fucking am. It's just I want to talk about something else. We have other stuff going on. I don't know if you follow the Rangers. The Rangers had a killer. They don't call it a walk-off in hockey. A sudden death victory in Boston, in their house a couple days ago. But no, we have to talk about fucking. Oh, is Aaron Rodgers going to get his body massage? And is he going to? No, we're done. We don't have to talk about this anymore this year. I'm done.
One thing I want to say though, you're absolutely right. Like all of that, like Zach Wilson, like actually having like a good game, beating the Texans, and like the whole Tommy DeVito story arc. It was all morale wins.
Oh yeah.
It was just to keep the mass suicide staved off of the tri-state area. Basically, that was the only thing that Tommy DeVito and Zach Wilson and the prospect that Aaron Rodgers may come back. Oh no, don't worry, he will. Oh no, don't worry. Fuck off.
He does that every week. He's his own hype man. He likes being in front of the camera. The Tommy DeVito thing now, he's doubling his fee to appear at pizzerias in New Jersey.
Is that true?
So, and they're saying, well, we can't afford 20,000 instead of 10,000. So he's making offers they can refuse. Haha.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's from
The
Godfather.
Yeah. What movie is that?
Being an asshole.
I've written so much stand up about Tommy DeVito, so I got like 1 week to do it. But it looks like the story's. I know. It looks like the story is winding down. But yeah, it's all morale victory. It's like when a coach gets fired and they win next week for the new guy. That's really all it is. And I'm happy for him. It was fun. It was exciting to see him. I still hope there's more fun to come for him, or whatever he does next, whether he's still with the Giants or in the booth or whatever. Who knows where he goes, but I've enjoyed it, and I was happy about that. But as a team, they need a lot. Need a lot.
And piggybacking off what you just said, they need a lot. And this fantasy world people were in, where suddenly this local, because look, he seems like a nice guy, but he is a townie. This fantasy world where a townie was going to save the New York Giants and carry them to the promised land. It was always crazy.
I don't know.
It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not Italian, but like I have a lot of friends who are. They've been really enjoying it. You are, of course, Mike.
Yeah,
but
it's fun.
At some point, it was going to come crashing down, and it
was like insanity. People were saying today. Now that he's getting rich, now that they're turning down his fee and all that stuff. I think he was signing tomorrow. He's signing autographs at the Morris Township Card Show. So that's like $50.
I love how you know this off the top of your head.
I was gonna go, but I have work to do. I have all my plans have changed all week. So that's a Tommy DeVito. His agent is a whole new thing, and he dressed like the Lucky Charms guy the other night, and whatever. It's been a little fun show, but I'm not looking forward to Daniel Jones coming back, but
I don't even think Daniel Jones is looking forward to Daniel Jones. I think he hopes he gets traded.
Not with that offense.
Sincerely, I think
he's got a Tommy Cutlet shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got one too.
Yeah.
He's got one too.
So I want to hop back to the Jets before we talk about other football stuff. I want to say that it's done. The Giants. I've been begging you for weeks to we don't want to talk about the Giants, but I think that this loss actually benefits the Jets long term. Brian, and tell me if you think I'm wrong because you're obviously a Jets fan. Now that they lost and they're out of it, they're not going to do anything stupid like try to bring back a 41-year-old quarterback back from an ACL after 2 months. Okay, they're just going to rest him, get him ready for next year, make a real run at it when they have a real QB next year. Is that kind of the sentiment in Jets land right now?
I feel like that's kind of like my sentiment, and it's just like, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is like, oh no, I'm going to come back, I'm going to come, like for the last few weeks, I'm going to come back. It felt like such an insult to an intelligence. So, which Jets fans usually don't have that, but just obviously we have him for one more year. Let's see what he does next year. And this season is an L, and let's just have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And like we said a few weeks ago,
like the next two games that we're going to play.
Ticket prices are going down. So I just want to say, as dual fan bases, both teams at the same time, 1 o'clock this past Sunday, saw their seasons finally come to an end. It's over. We don't have to deal with it anymore. We're going to talk a little more football right now, but I just want to say, moving forward, I want to get some more Knicks in here. I want to get some more Nets in here. Rangers, obviously, they're crushing it this year. Yep. It's time to let it go. It's time to get off the gridiron, fellas.
Pitchers and catchers.
There we go. Yeah, in about 2 months or so.